Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 12th session of Tadabbur of Surah Al-Kahf, pondering of Surah Al-Kahf, Surah number 18, the cave. Please bring your Bridges translation, open it whether on PDF or the paperback or even the app. Last time we started the story of Moses and the righteous, knowledgeable servant of Allah. And we saw that Moses, peace be upon him, was ready to walk for decades just to meet him and learn from him. Read with me, please, ayah number 61 and ayah number 62. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم فلما بلغا مجمع بينهما نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا فلما جاوزا قال لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا. So when they reached the junction between them, they forgot about their fish, and so it found its way into the sea, slipping away. Then when they went further, he said to his young assistant, "Bring us our lunch. Very truly we have encountered in our travel much fatigue." So Allah made Prophet Moses feel fatigue and hungry after they passed the meeting point where he should meet the man, the knowledgeable man. After passing it, Allah made him feel hungry and fatigued. So he stopped and asked his assistant to bring them their lunch, which was supposed to be the fish. But there he told him that they lost it. Listen to what he said. Read ayah number 63. قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا. He said, "Did you see when we rested by the rock? I forgot about the fish, and none except Satan made me forget it, and it found its way to the sea wondrously." So the young assistant of Prophet Moses informed him that they lost the fish by the rock because he wasn't very careful, and that Satan made him forget it. And actually, Satan made him forget to tell Prophet Moses about it. He probably didn't think it is something important at all. And it found its way back to the sea wondrously, in a wonderful way. Notice the harmony between the stories and the thrilling atmosphere in all of them. If you go back to ayah number 9, in the story of the youngsters who slept in the cave, go to page 195. Page 195, sign number 9, ayah number 9. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا. Or did you think that the fellows of the cave and the inscription were among our signs a wonder? A wonder. Go back to ayah number 63 in page 200. The same word عجبا was also used. He said, 63 in page 200, go back. He said, "Did you see when we rested by the rock, I forgot about the fish, and none except Satan made me forget it. And it found its way to the sea wondrously," which means in a wonderful way. Same word was used also in the Arabic in order to link between the stories and to add a thrilling atmosphere. So the distribution of expressions is phenomenal in the Quran. And that's why we tried as much as we can in Bridges translation to standardize the terms in English so that you as an English reader can also realize the repetition of certain terms. And like that you start linking contexts from different parts of the Quran together. Read ayah number 64 with me. قال ذلك ما كنا نبغ فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا. He said, "That is what we were looking for." And so they turned back, retracing their footsteps. All my life, I thought that Prophet Moses was sarcastic as he said, this is what we were looking for. But when I learned the hadith which explained the story, the hadith we mentioned last time, I understood that he was not sarcastic. He was really waiting for something funny to happen to the fish. He was waiting for something strange to happen to the fish, because that would be the sign of the meeting point with the man. So he was really excited. When he learned that the fish was lost. And he told his assistant to show him where exactly did he lose it. And where is that rock? Read number 64. Read ayah number 64. And so the last part of the ayah. And so they turned back, retracing their footsteps. They went back following their footsteps because they wanted to get exactly to the point. And as they arrived, guess who was waiting for them? Read ayah number 65. فوجد عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. Then they came upon a servant of our servants whom we have given mercy from us and whom we had taught knowledge from our own. You may realize that our translation is a bit literal. And that's true, and it is intentional to be like that, because I wanted you to get a sense of how this text is expressed in Arabic. Both of them found the righteous servant of Allah when they arrived at the meeting point, at the rock where they lost the fish. Both of them, found the righteous servant of Allah, the teacher whom Moses was looking for. But at this point, the young assistant of Prophet Moses disappears from the story. We don't know what happened, but probably Moses dismissed him and he went back to the Israelites. And a new scene starts now, only between Moses and the mysterious man, whom Allah described in ayah number 65 like that. Read ayah number 65 with me. Then they came upon a servant of our servants, whom we had given mercy from us, and whom we had taught knowledge from our own. A VIP, a very important person whom Allah has taught him very special knowledge. So no one can commit crimes against the law, then claim that he has special knowledge that no one else knows except him. No, this man was given that knowledge by Allah. Read the last part of the ayah. This is something specific for this man, and whom we had taught knowledge from our own. It's not something that people can teach to each other. Now, Moses is finally with the most knowledgeable human being on earth. Remember the hadith. He was asked, who's the most knowledgeable? And he said, I am. And Allah blamed him. How come you say I am and you don't say only Allah knows best? And he asked Allah, is there someone else who knows more than I? And Allah said, yes. He said, who? He said, one of my servants. And Moses said, how can I meet him? He said, go to the junction of the two seas. That's why all this story happened. So Moses wanted to meet the most knowledgeable man. Now finally he's with him. So look how Allah described him. Allah described him like that in ayah number 65. Go look at ayah number 65. Then they came upon a servant of our servants. The most knowledgeable human being is a servant of Allah. And the most ignorant human being is one who does not admit that he is a servant of Allah. Even if he or she acquired 5 PhDs and read thousands of books, if knowledge doesn't make you understand life, then it did not benefit you in anything. And the number one thing that you must understand in your life is that you are a servant of Allah. Read 65 again. فوجد عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. Then they came upon a servant of our servants whom we had given mercy from us and whom we had taught knowledge from our own. Read 66. قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Moses said to him, may I follow you so that you may teach me some of the prudence you were taught? Wow. Look how polite and obedient Moses is in front of him. Is this mighty Moses the one who stood against the biggest tyrant of his time, Pharaoh? Is this mighty Moses the one who challenged and defeated the most renowned sorcerers of his time? The one who hit the sea with his cane and split it into two parts? The one who attended the demise of the biggest chief commander and his army? The one whom Allah spoke to directly several times? The one who was given the tablets of the Torah? The one who destroyed the idol of the Israelites and blew it up in the sea? This great leader, this great achiever who has one of the strongest personalities that ever existed in the history of humanity, stands like an obedient student now between the hands of his teacher, asking him very, very politely and respectfully. Read 66. Moses said to him, may I follow you so that you may teach me some of the prudence you were taught? Sir, that's exactly like that. Can I please follow you? He didn't say escort you or accompany you, just follow you. Like Joshua ibn Nun, Yusha ibn Nun, who followed him as a student and as an assistant, now Moses is offering to play that role with this man. He will become his assistant and his student, not the leader anymore. The Quran is giving us a lesson on how honorable knowledge is. And that the knowledge is what makes people honorable, not the money, not gold, not mansions, not Rolls Royces, and definitely not authority, because he did not speak like that to Pharaoh. Moses did not speak like that to Pharaoh. He was speaking tete-a-tete, face to face, as an equal. But did you ever wonder why Allah created the universe? Let's take a break from Moses' story now. Did you ever wonder why Allah created the universe? You know the answer is for knowledge. Mark page 200 now and go to page 380. Please, it's very important. Mark page 200 and go to 380, ayah number 12 in Surah At-Talaq or divorce. The last ayah, it says, الله الذي خلق سبع سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما. Allah is He who created seven heavens and the like of earth. The command descends between them so that you may know. All of this was created so that you may know that Allah is powerful over everything and that Allah has encompassed everything in knowledge. This ayah refutes what atheists say about God, that if your God was really wise, why then did He create that vast universe and made life exist only on a little planet in it? Isn't this a waste of resources? Of course, their mistake is that they deal with God like they deal with human beings who have limited resources, but also that they did not grab the concept explained in the ayah. The universe is a school, and we are the students and researchers in that school. The bigger the school and the bigger its labs are, the better school it is. God said in this ayah that He created this vast universe so that we may know. It's all for knowledge. Let's go back to Surah Al-Kahf. Go to page 200, please. Go to page 200, sign number 66. قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Moses said to him, may I follow you so that you may teach me some of the prudence you were taught? That was very polite and clever from Prophet Musa, because he is still in the phase of convincing him to accept him as a student and to accept his company, to allow him to accompany him. So there is still a possibility that he refuses his company. So by telling him, I follow you so that you may teach me some of the prudence you were taught, he is reminding him politely that it is inappropriate if he refuses to teach him a knowledge that is not originally his. He was taught that knowledge, you have to give it to others. Second, he is describing his knowledge as prudence, which means that the knowledge you will teach me will affect me positively and guide me in my life and make me more prudent, and so it will be a good, in your record of good deeds. So look how clever and polite Prophet Moses was. And by the way, he could have simply told him, excuse me, God sent me to you to teach me. Go ahead, start. That's it. He could have done that, by the way. When would you like to start? But no, that was a historic lesson in the etiquette of seeking knowledge and how polite the student should be with his teacher. I remember my grandfather made me study Arabic poetry of the legend of poetry, Amir al-Shu'ara, the leader of poets, of Arabic poets, Ahmad Shawqi. And in one of his poems he said, قم للمعلم ووفيه التبجيل كاد المعلم أن يكون رسولا أعلمت أشرف أو أجل من الذي يبني وينشئ أنفسا وعقولا. It means, stand up for the teacher and show him respect. A teacher was very close to become a messenger. Do you know anything more honorable or greater than establishing minds and building personalities? Anyway, go back to ayah number 67. Read ayah number 67 with me, please, to see how the righteous servant resisted. قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, indeed, you will not be able to endure patiently with me. He is not belittling Moses, but he definitely knows that no decent human being would ever accept what he does. He does things that seem against religion, against Sharia, against morals. And by the way, this man's name, according to the books of Tafsir, is Al-Khidr, his nickname. However, the Quran did not mention any name for him, nor did it mention from which people was he. Was he Egyptian, Israelite, Palestinian, Amazigh? Didn't mention. It did not even say clearly if he was a prophet or just a saint, a righteous servant. However, I believe that he was a prophet, and I will tell you why later, inshallah. Why do I believe that? And of course, I said inshallah, of course, I should not forget inshallah. I will tell you inshallah later that. Anyway, the Quran surrounded his personality with mystery that suits the thrilling and mysterious atmosphere of this story. Read 67 with me and see. He said, indeed, you will not be able to endure patiently with me. He did not say, لن تصبر, you will not be patient. No. He said, you will not be able to endure patiently. إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. Even if you try to be patient, you will fail. He is not trying to convince him to change his mind. He knows that Moses will still insist to accompany him, but he is actually getting him ready for the lesson. A sort of orientation so that he won't be shocked, or so that the shock wouldn't be very hard on Moses. Moses didn't know what was waiting for him. Read ayah number 68 and see. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. And how can you endure patiently what you have not encompassed with knowledge? This ayah is the key for understanding the whole story. Everything that he did that seemed bad and evil can be accepted if one knows the wisdom behind it. Go back to 67. قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, indeed, you will not be able to endure patiently with me. So that's the norm. The norm is that a human being, a decent human being, cannot accept what he or she cannot fathom. That's the norm. Now Moses is still worried that the man didn't accept yet his company, didn't accept him as a student who will escort him. So he announces his total submission and acceptance of anything he sees. Read 69 with me. قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا. He said, you will find me patient, Allah willing, and I will not disobey you in any command of yours. Did you notice that he did not forget to say inshallah, Allah willing? He forgot Allahu A'lam, only God knows, and he walked a good walk on foot. So this time, and despite the heated conversation, he did not forget inshallah. This is a lesson for who? Tell me, this is a lesson for who? Write in the comments. This is a lesson for who? For Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Isn't he the one who forgot to say inshallah before and took a lesson in ayah number 23 and 24? Go back to ayah number 23 and 24. Roll back. Go to 23 and 24. Allah said to Prophet Muhammad, and never say about anything, I will do that tomorrow without God willing. And remember your Lord if you forget, and say, hopefully my Lord will guide me to something nearer to prudence than this. Now, as Prophet Muhammad sees his brother Moses remembering to say it, even in the middle of a heated discussion, a heated conversation, that's another lesson for Prophet Muhammad in the same surah. See how amazing this is. We are now watching the industry of two messengers. We are watching the training course Allah is giving to two carriers who carried his message to humanity. And at the same time, we ourselves are getting disciplined through reading and pondering the Quran like that. Read ayah number 69 with me, please. He said, you will find me patient, Allah willing, and I will not disobey you in any command of yours. Seriously? Moses speaks that softly? The man with the strong personality who stood against the biggest tyrant and challenged the biggest sorcerers and shouted at the Israelites when he saw them praying to the idol and destroyed their idol, now speaks like that? I will not disobey you in any command of yours. That's amazing. Amazing. The change in his personality. Read 70. Read ayah number 70. And see the teacher setting the rules. قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرى. He said, so if you follow me, then do not ask me about anything until I bring about a mention of it to you. Wow. It's like saying, my rules are, you do not open your mouth no matter what you see me doing until I decide to explain to you. And Prophet Moses accepted politely and was very happy. He was so excited. Finally, he's accepted in the course. He's accepted from the teacher, not knowing yet what was about to start. Showtime. in the qira'at, by the way, there is a qira'at warsh. We say فَلَا تَسْأَلَنِّي, not فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي. فَلَا تَسْأَلَنِّي. A very, very simple difference in pronunciation, but it means do not ever ask me. So there's more emphasis. Don't you ever ask me, not just don't ask me. Okay? Read ayah number 71. فانطلقا حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. So they both set out until when they had boarded the ark, he hauled it. He said, did you haul it so as to drown its people? You have done something awful. What proves that they were both alone without Yusha ibn Nun, the assistant of Moses, is this ayah, which says, so they both set out until when they had boarded the ark. So they boarded, so those are two people who boarded the ark. They boarded the ship. Then he made a hole in it. He removed a plank above the water level in a way that doesn't cause the ship to sink, but it still looked damaged. Continue reading 71 to see how Prophet Musa reacted. قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. He said, did you hole it so as to drown its people? You have done something awful. So because of the gravity of the mistake, Prophet Moses couldn't control his tongue. Ibn Taymiyyah said, the one who abstains from saying the truth is a silent Satan. So the one who abstains from saying the truth is a silent Satan. We must enjoin what's fair and forbid what's evil. Prophet Moses asked him, how can you do that? What you did could have caused people to drown. لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا إِمْرًا. You have done something awful. There is another qira'ah in footnote C, page 200, in the footnotes, لِيَغْرَقَ أَهْلُهَا. Not لِتُغْرِقَ أَهْلَهَا, لِيَغْرَقَ أَهْلُهَا. This is the qira'ah of Hamza, Al-Kisai, and Khalaf, who read it as, did you hold it so that its people would drown? Which means that Moses was so outraged in the beginning. He said, did you hold it so as to drown its people? Then he may have felt that it needs, his tone needs to soften a little bit. And then he said, so that its people would drown, without saying that he is trying to drown the people. Read ayah number 72 and see the reaction of the teacher. قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, did I not say that you would not be able to endure patiently with me? And by the way, of course, what you see in ayah number 72 is, did I not tell you? But that's a mistake, and please cross the word, the two words, tell you, and make it say, did I not say that you would not be able to endure patiently with me? And we will correct this in the next edition of the book, inshallah. So it's like telling him, I was right, huh? Did I not tell you that you would not be able, did I not say that you would not be able to endure patiently with me? Read ayah number 73. قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. He said, do not rebuke me for forgetting and do not make my matters difficult. It's like Prophet Moses saying, I forgot. I'm sorry, please excuse me. Don't take it against me and don't reprimand me for that. I just forgot. And do not make my matters difficult. I just forgot. Don't go too hard on me because of that. And don't try to dismiss me from the course. Read ayah number 74. فانطلق حتى إذا لقي غلاما فقتله. قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا. Then they both set out until, as soon as they encountered a boy, he killed him. He said, did you kill a sinless self which killed no one? Most surely you have done something dreadful. Which means that they continued walking, then they met a youngster. So the man killed him. Moses' blood boiled. He couldn't stay silent. He is not allowed by religion to stay silent in this case. Notice that Moses is learning from the righteous servant, and we are learning from both of them. So Prophet Moses knew that he is talking to his teacher, whom Allah has informed him that he is the most knowledgeable man on earth, and there is an agreement between them not to comment on anything he sees. But when it came to violating the sanctity of the soul, he was loud. He was loud. That wasn't a mistake from Moses. He was good. قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا. He said, did you kill a sinless self which killed no one? Most surely you have done something dreadful. That's a different tone now, a bit harsher. There's a different qira'ah, by the way, in this ayah, as well, the word zakiya is zakiya. Not much different, but it has a different meaning, slightly different. Zakiya means sinless by nature, because he's a child, inherently sinless. So, of course, one may wonder, which word exactly did Prophet Moses use? Zakiya or Zakiya? Actually, neither one of them. Prophet Moses did not speak Arabic. And the conversation between Moses and the righteous man wasn't in Arabic. It was in Hebrew, maybe, in ancient Egyptian language, maybe. But what the Quran does is rewriting the scenario of the story artistically in Arabic, and uses this phenomenon of applying minor changes in diacritic marks in some words to express the meaning that could have needed a few lines or a whole paragraph very concisely without any need for adding any more words, just changing diacritic marks like that. So anyway, Prophet Moses told him, how can you kill an innocent soul? He is just a child. The Quran expressed both of them, both meanings, innocent soul and just a child, without adding any words, just using the qira'at. That's why those who study the qira'at discover that it is the biggest linguistic miracle of all languages. Back to our story. When the man saw that Moses has used a harsher tone, he as well responded harsher than he did last time. Read ayah number 75. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, did I not tell you that you would not be able to endure patiently with me? This time he said, did I not tell you that you would not be able to endure patiently with me? I want you to feel the tension. The Quran deals with your feelings and puts them on track. Read ayah number 76. قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. He said, if I ask you about anything after this, then do not keep company with me. Certainly, by then you would have had enough of an excuse from me. Compare this to his apology after damaging the ship in ayah number 73. Go back to 73. If you go back to 73, you find Prophet Moses apologizing for commenting by saying, he said, do not rebuke me for forgetting and do not make my matters difficult. Which means that, please excuse me, I just forgot our agreement. Do not rebuke me, please. But this time, when it came to killing, he did not say, I forgot. He actually did not forget. He spoke knowing that he is violating the agreement, but the crime committed is too grave. For him, it looks like a crime now. And this, until this point, it looks for all of us, it's a crime until now. So he did not apologize this time. Prophet Moses did not apologize. He just made a new agreement with him. If I speak again, dismiss me and I won't blame you. Read ayah number 76 and sense Moses' feelings. You know, this is a man who walked a lot and did a lot of effort to meet this man, and he thought that he will enjoy the lesson with him. Read 76. He said, if I ask you about anything after this, then do not keep company with me. Certainly, by then, you would have had enough of an excuse from me. The lesson here is that when it comes to manslaughter, then we are in front of a serious matter. If we see anyone committing it, we cannot stay silent. Moses did not stay silent when he saw the most knowledgeable person doing that. So what about the most ignorant people who do that every day? I ponder this all the time. Why are we silent? We see massacres that have been committed all over the world by ignorant, greedy, self-appointed tyrants. We should not stay silent, especially after reflecting upon these words of God. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, a faithful believer remains at liberty regarding his religion unless he kills somebody unlawfully. Okay? Now there is only one chance left for Moses. Then the man has the right to end the learning session with him. Read ayah number 77. فانطلقا حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها فأبوا أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا. So they both set out until when they reached the people of a town, they asked them for food, but they refused to offer them hospitality. Then they found a wall tending to collapse. So he repaired it. He said, if you wanted, you could have charged a reward for it. Normally, people feed the wayfarers and the travelers. They offer them free milk and free bread and free water. But the people of this town were really, really misers. They never offered them any food, to the extent that both of them, Moses and the righteous man, asked all people for food and still none gave them anything to eat. Read the ayah carefully. So they both set out until when they reached the people of a town, they asked them for food. They, Moses and the man, asked them. They asked all the people in the town. But they refused to offer them hospitality, and all of them refused. This is so disgusting. No hospitality, no generosity, not even humanity, not a loaf of bread. Guess what was the reaction of the man? Continue ayah 77. There they found a wall tending to collapse, so he repaired it. The Quranic expression is really hilarious, saying a wall tending to collapse after explaining how disgusting misers the people of that town are. Makes you feel that even walls and non-living objects did not want to exist in this town. The wall wanted to commit suicide. The Quran makes you laugh here as it makes you cry sometimes. All you need is to remove the barriers and allow the Quran to deal with your feelings, and it will entertain you like nothing else can do. You know, the atmosphere after the killing of the boy became so dramatic, and the tension level was high between the man and Moses. Then this expression came about the wall tending to collapse. It put a smile on my face. Guess what was the reaction of the man? The man who damaged the ship of the poor fisherman and killed a child. Guess what was his reaction towards those misers? He rolled up his sleeves and worked hard to repair a wall in the town before it collapses for free. Ooh. Do they deserve any favor? Prophet Moses did not help him in doing that. He was just trying to understand what he's doing. He didn't give him a hand. And I really sympathize with Prophet Moses. If I was in his shoes, I would have lost my mind. Prophet Moses did not violate the agreement, or he did not want to waste the last chance. But he really wanted to understand the logic behind what was happening. They are starving, and the man is doing free favors for some rich misers. So Moses articulated his question in a form of a suggestion. Very softly and calmly, with a smile, he said, read the last sentence in ayah number 77. He said, if you wanted, you could have charged a reward for it. That's it. Read 78. قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. He said, this is the parting between you and me. I will tell you the interpretation of what you were unable to endure patiently. The learning session is over. Now, questions and answers session. He said, this is the parting between you and me. Course concluded. I will tell you the interpretation of what you were unable to endure patiently. It is like He is endorsing all Moses' reactions towards what he did. And now he is going to discuss these incidents with him and explain to him. Next session, inshallah, we will learn together what was happening in the backstage, which Prophet Moses wasn't aware of. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.